Hey guys, Joe Pye here from Advanced Innovations. If you are one of my subscribers, you'll know that I'm primarily a machining channel, but every once in a while I stumble across something I think is pretty cool and I want to share it with you. Well, a while back I showed you a mid-lash tie-down knot that I use exclusively when I haul steel in my truck, and to everyone that commented, what do you do with the other end of the rope? Well, you secure it or everything's just going to fly out of your truck. So, you know, if there's anything that I assume that you know that I don't mention, I apologize for that. Well, today I'm going to debunk the trucker hitch. A lot of you guys said, well, you got to use a trucker hitch because it helps. Well, do you think it helps or do you think it doesn't help? And I'm going to show you exactly what's going on and what the benefit is or isn't. And surprise, surprise. But in doing so, I think it's important that I show you how to put something on a rope mid-lash if you can't get to the ends. So let's take a look at a couple of different ways. One way to do it is to feed your part. Make a loop, feed whatever it is. Let's use the one, this is a carabiner, so this isn't fair. Let's use the one that's closed. You can't do anything with this, but I want to put this on this rope. Make a loop, feed it through your obstacle, put it over your obstacle. Now pull it. Boom, look at that, you're in. All day long. Get it off the same way. Open it up, put your whatever back through it, and release it. There. I did not need the end to tie this on there securely. Away you go. One of the other ways to do it is to make a little loop on here if you have a carabiner or something that does open. And there's a reason for this, so don't run and hide yet. Loop over yourself like this. And then take this loop and pull this one through. And when you cinch down on it, you got a little noose. Now you can take your carabiner or whatever and clip it right on. When it pull tight, there you go. And if you're going to use a trucker hitch, you're going to need to know one of those two ways. So if you didn't catch it, roll it back, figure it out. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using two of these guys. These are 50-pound fishing scales. And just to show you that they are pulling exactly the same, I'm going to hook them up face to face. We're going to pull. Watch what happens. Now forgive the intermittent, sometimes shaky nature of this video. I'm doing it by myself. And it is a little difficult to do. Get the glare off of that for you. There you go, that's a better shot. And I'm going to pull 25 pounds. 25, 25. 12, 12, 0, 0. So whatever's happening to one, we're going to stop this one on 25 and look at the other one. There you go. 25, 25. We can establish that these scales are working together. Everything is good. Now if you're tying a ridge line for a tent, that sound just never gets old. It's Rot Rally weekend here in Texas, and there's going to be a lot of motorcycles on the road, so forgive the noise. Anyway, if you're tying a ridge line for a tent, a lean-to, you're tying down a tarp, whatever, and you go from point A to point B, whatever you put in between them, whatever you stretch in between them, tension-wise, however much poundage you pull on that rope is what you can expect to see as the tension in that rope. Well, a trucker hitch is supposed to allow you to pull with X pounds and get more than that. So we're going to find out whether or not that's true. First thing we're going to do is straight to straight. 100% even up. Just like we just did. Here's your rope. Here's your load. We're going to pull on this one. We're going to check the poundage on this one. I'm sitting on 25 here, and I got 25 here. That is in line. This next little demonstration is going to absolutely blow you away. We're going to take this line and we're going to wrap it around that anchor point right there, and we're going to pull it. And I'm going to show you what friction can do. You think you're pulling real hard and you think your line is tight, but the amount of friction created at just that joint right there, and that's a nice smooth piece of brass. That's not like bark on a tree. Watch what it does to the load. Nothing fancy here. There's no friction. Absolutely perfect. Now I'm going to get down close to the other scale for this. And you are not going to believe what the friction does to this setup. And like I said, this isn't tree bark either. This is ideal circumstances. Loop is around the anchor point. Secure, line, straight up and over. Nothing fancy about it. Okay, here's my tension. Straight down is 25 pounds. I will put 25 pounds of pressure on this. All right, 25. Look at the difference. As it relaxes, it comes back around pretty quick. But as I draw, there's 15 pounds of force to draw. I have 7.5 showing right here. 25, I have 12.5. You're going to be hanging on your draw line thinking that, man, I am making this thing as tight as it possibly gets. And the only thing you're doing is introducing more tension into this line here because of the friction at that anchor point right there. And that's not even tree bark. This is good line too. This is not supposed to be very stretchable line. It's a paracord. So let's eliminate the friction at this point. Try that again and show you what happens. I'm going to use this pulley. I'm going to mount it to this anchor point up here, and we're going to take the friction out of the setup by using a pulley. Okay, let's get a close-up look at this. Single fast eye pulley, anchor point. Friction should be taken up by the bearing in here. Two lines basically equal length. Do the exact same thing. Let's see how much friction has been eliminated and the result. Let's get over top of it. 25 on one, 21 on the other. So the percentage is tremendous. As soon as you take the friction out of the anchor point or the pivot point right down there, as soon as you take the friction out, you get almost 100% of what you're pulling on translated to the line that you want to tighten up. So if you can wrap the tree with something that's going to reduce the friction, or even bring a secondary strap with a pulley on it, that's to your benefit. Now let's talk about this magic trucker hitch that everybody claims is so amazing. Well, what a trucker hitch is, and I hope I do this right because you guys are going to nail me if I don't. A trucker hitch allows you to modify the line that you want to tighten up so that instead of pulling from here, you go up about another anchor point and you pull down. So there's a mechanical advantage that's created, and it's supposed to amplify the amount of tension you put on the line. Well, how much does it amplify it? Let me rig up the center pivot point. I'll detail it for you. I'll show you what I did, and then we'll take a look at the difference in the pull, if there is any. Stay tuned. Alright, here's the new setup. The main line coming from the anchor point It's got one of those little overhand cleats in it and continues down around a friction reducing pulley, goes back up through the carabiner. Now the reason I'm using a carabiner is because as you draw this, the last thing you want to do is through friction abrade this area right here, thin it out, whatever. So I like a carabiner. It only takes a second to snap it on and leave it hanging from one of the cleats in your truck. It's always there. I have several hanging in mine. Now if this trucker hitch is worth its claim, it's going to amplify the amount of pressure that we see here versus what I apply here. All right? Let's see, this is the moment of truth here, guys. Better yet, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take this one to 25. Still on 25, hasn't moved. Let's go back and see what we have here. Look at that. 12.5 pounds. 12.5 pounds of draw for 25 pounds of load on that main line. So does that trucker hitch work? Yeah, you bet it works. It amplifies it by twice. So I'm going to pull this. Let's go all the way to 50 pounds on this, maximum. And I'm doing this with one hand while I'm holding a camera, so there you go. 50 pounds. That's a fish you're going to brag about, right? Still loaded, still 50. Coming back. 23 pounds. Crank it back to 50. Shaking a little bit. There you go. 23 pounds of load, 50 pounds of final resistance on that rope. Does it work? It works fantastic. Pay attention to how that's done. This is your anchor point. Let's say this is around a tree or the other side of the truck. It goes across somewhere main line as it's going across before the return. Put one of these little hitches in it. You can pass this line as it comes around your pulley or around your cleat on the other side. You can take this line directly back through there. That's the way a lot of people do it, but I do this for friction. And then take the line that's on the return, and this is what you're going to tie off. This is the one you're going to crank down with a ratchet strap or by hand or whatever. And once you've got your torque on it, you can pinch it, tie it off however you want to tie it off with whatever kind of hitch you're going to finish it up with. But there it is. It is a double. A trucker hitch will double the amount of pressure you can put on that line. So you can send your 100-pound wife or your 50-pound son out there and say, here, tie that down, and he's going to be able to put 200 pounds of pressure on that line. Or she will. He'll get 100 pounds. That's it. That's all I got for you. I thought that was really interesting, and the trucker hitch is definitely the way to go. Learn it, use it, keep one of these laying around, good thing to have, and keep a couple of those carabiners in your truck too. Stainless steel if you're going to lay them out back. Thanks for watching.